Okay, so back to it. So if I'm going back to the product class, we do need to make some more methods. And let's see. So we did get name, we did get price, we did get on sale. So if we actually need to do set on sale and reduce price. Okay, so we're actually not really doing too many modifier ones. We're actually changing them. Set on sale and reduce price will be those. So they are going to be public. Now, these aren't going to return a value. These are going to do something and do something alone. So in other words, we're going to run them. They're going to do something. They're going to set the value. They're going to set the value that's stored from the on sale variable in this case, right? The on sale attribute. But we're not going to return anything. It's just going to sort of do it. So when it just does anything, doesn't return anything, we have a void method, and we're going to call it set on sale. We are going to need to get a value from the user, though, because what we do is we need to get a Boolean, and I'll just call it S in this case. And so we're going to, because again, we want to set it to whatever they tell us to set it to, right? If we want to set the name, we could make a set name, and we would accept a string, N or something. And that way, whatever the user supplies as a parameter here, we are going to then change the value of on sale to whatever they supply us. So it should be either true or false in this case. Okay. We are going to have one. I actually went over kind of how to what I wanted from this one in class, and it's going to be called reduce price. And all I said is what we're going to do is we are going to be modifying the price here. We're going to be modifying the price by some amount. And so we're going to, that amount is going to be a double. I'm just going to call it AMT for amount. And so what we're going to actually do is actually change and reduce the price by whatever amount that we put in there, right? So if we put in, $6.95, it'll reduce the price by $6.95 of that object we're running this method on, okay? So what I'll do there is basically all we need to do is we are changing, we're going to be changing the price. So the price is going to just be, we're going to be subtract, I can do it the long way, but it's going to be price equals price minus the amount. If I wanted to do that the short way, and I do, we know that would be the same thing as minus equals amount. So it's going to take the price, subtract the amount from it, save it back as price. So this sort of takes whatever value they supply me in the parameter and reduces the price by that amount. Okay, so we actually have all the methods except for one. And this is the one that's a little bit unique. We should always supply a toString method, okay? And a toString method is going to return a string. So we know it's going to, let's go over here. It's going to be a public, and it's going to be a string. It's going to return a string. It's going to be called toString. And we're not going to accept any parameters. What it's going to do is basically it tells us the output that we want, but typically a toString one is kind of a default, right? And I'll show you this in a second. What if I just, I'm going to do something in a second, but I'm going to say I'm going to return just the string. This is cool. All right. So I'm just this is sort of a test at this point, right? So I'm going to compile that first, jump back over to the previous one here, or to the product printer, and I'll get rid of this. Actually, you know what? That's fine. Okay. So in my output, right? If I compile this, I would make three new product objects, right? I'd make 3 instances of a product with grape, banana, and apple as their sort of identifiers, and that'd be great. I would be able to do stuff with them. I just don't have anything that I'm doing with them. But what I want to do is the toString method actually is kind of cool in a way, is that by default, if I just say output grape, right? You think that wouldn't make any sense, right? What does that even mean? Output the object grape? What does that even actually mean? But if you output just the object, sort of what's actually kind of happening is sort of by default, what's sort of happening is it's sort of looking, by outputting it, it's saying, hey, find the toString method and do that. So it's kind of basically saying grape.toString in this case. That's what it's kind of doing. So by just giving it the name, and that's why if you notice down here it says print the object's name, the reference, to test your string method. So we're just saying the reference name, right? The grape is what we're referring, what it sort of references. And so it'll actually do the toString method without me putting anything. So if I compile it and run it, it'll actually say the thing that I did in my toString method. So that's what it's kind of saying on this last part, right? So it's kind of, Now, of course, I could also say grape dot to string, and it would be doing the same thing, right? It would actually do and show the same thing. So we can look at that. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So it does the same thing. Now, again, why do it if you have to? So we should know that it's sort of going to default and do the sort of going to, by default, kind of do whatever we put there. Okay, so now we actually go have to make it look like it's supposed to. Oops, in the product. So what we want to return is, now this is a little unique, because what we're returning is the name. Okay, the name, that's fine. The price, okay, is it on sale? And then it should say yes, not true or false. So what I actually need to do is I need to return, well, it should say name, it's in lowercase, then it should have the name, right? We just get the name of the variable. And then what I'll do is I would do want to say price. Oh, but this is going to be on the next line. So I can just say /n and then price. /n, it's got to be in the quotes, but /n uses the escape character. And then n, so that's \n. We use that escape character. Then n means, hey, go to a new line. So we'll do price, and then we'll put the price. Oops. And then it says, is it on sale? So we're going to actually go ahead and say, is it on sale? Except, oops, we need it on a new line. So I'll do /n because we want to format it exactly right. Is it on sale? We'll throw a space in there. And then what we want, now this is the part that it's going to be a little different. In that if I look over here, if I put in plus and then on sale, it would say true or false, but I don't want that. So what I actually kind of have to do is I have to say, I either have to put yes or no here. So let's just say if I just put yes, if I just hard-coded yes in there, okay? And there are other ways to do this, but for now it's just sort of one or the other, right? It's sort of going to happen or not. So this return will run if it's on, I want this to run when the on sale is true, right? And then if I want this one, right? Another one to run. If I put no here, I want that to run. Do I have a semicolon there? I want that to run when it's not true. So what I can actually do is just use an if statement. I can say, you know what? Well, if on sale, and remember, on sale is either going to be true or false. So what I don't actually have to do is say if on sale equals true. I could do this, and it would compare the two values. But the easier way is just say if on sale, right? It kind of even sounds nice. If it's on sale, in other words, because the value for on sale, what it'll do is it'll return this. Otherwise, it'll return this. So that's sort of a way to do it. Again, there are other ways to do that, but for now, that's actually fine. I think that'll work. Should compile. Okay, so now if we go back over here and actually to the product, and I do the same thing with grape, and I rerun it, this sort of the same thing. It's no longer going to just say the test thing that I put in there. It'll actually do the whole thing. Does that look good? Name, widget, price, 10 point. Is it on sale? No, that looks good because that is false, right, by default. So it isn't on sale. So that actually looks good. Okay, so that is fine. So the good news here is I think we're actually done with this class, right? I have all the stuff up here that I need. Now it's just a matter of printing everything out. All right, so sort of printing out all the things that I need. And actually, because I was testing it and going back and forth, what you really should be doing, like sort of compiling it, making sure it runs, and the other one going back and forth and sort of feeling it as it goes, you really definitely should be doing that. But because of that, though, in this, I've actually done part of what I needed to do for the next part. So if I look at what I'm trying to do for the next part, it says on a separate class name product printer, again, which I already made because I read ahead. I read the whole thing first. It says I want to make 3 different products using all 3 different constructors. And what do you know? I did that already. Here's the default one. Here are the 2 parameterized ones. So it says for the 2 products with constructors, we must do this stuff. Okay, so let me just do them individually. I'll just get these out of the way for a second, but let's just start with, I don't know, this one's fine. I just changed the order. Okay, so here's the first one. It says construct the product, construct the object, done. And actually we'll pick this up on the next video, the next part. Sounds good. Sounds great. I'm going to start like here, kind of where it was. All right, sweet.